What's up, guys? Picking up exactly where we left off at with these race car pedals. So you can see in the last video we nicely placed them there and adjusted our seat and everything, so these pedals are good to go. Now it's time to plumb them meaning we have to run lines for our fluids and somehow get our throttle cable to our new throttle mechanism here. So shouldn't be too hard, but yeah, let's just get into it. All right, so rolling under the car here, you can see we have our bell housing, torque tube not attached, of course. So we're going to have 3 bulkhead fittings about here in this area. My main concern is that this line needs to be long enough to reach, and of course this line is. Right, so the clutch line is situated, we don't have to worry about that. Next thing on the agenda, we have to find a way to get our both brake lines, front and rear, here. So this is our rear brake line right above. It's probably too dark, but it's our rear brake line right above. And then right over here, if you look at the line lock, this is where our other front brake line basically gets connections to. So probably about a year now, I had this Wilwood what do you call that, proportioning brake bias kind of thing up there. So we're just going to undo the lines off of that and swing them this way. I know we're gonna have to shorten them because they're gonna be way too long to get over here, but this is gonna be perfect because we're going to literally remove all of the brake stuff minus the line lock, that's gonna stay there, but all of that is going to get out of the hot zone, something I like to call it, because we have the manifold right here, the turbo up top, and eventually someday the exhaust will come straight through this opening here. So the fact that we can get all of our brakes situated out of that area would be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and go inside and make a couple small incisions on this wall over here somewhere, I don't know, we'll see, and we'll see where it, you know, comes out. All right, so here goes nothing. This is where the first one should be. All right, so under the car now here, you can see we have our drill bit right here. And this is actually a pretty nice spot. Honestly, I might put one to the left and one to the right. So with that being said, I'm going to make this one the clutch line. Why? Because it's going to be easy to remember, because the line in front of it is going to be a brake line. It's going to be the front brake line. The one behind it is going to be the rear brake line. So if I'm just quickly looking at a quick glance, I can see that this comes directly from the bell housing, and it's probably going to be a different color anyway. This is like black, the rest of the lines are silver. So that's like one easy way of telling which line is for which. Okay, back in the garage and our box of fittings. Everything came in the other day. So these are, I believe, stainless steel bulkhead fittings. You can see the long end is where you stick it through, and then there's a nut on the other side to lock it on the other side. So that's super simple. We also have a bunch of 90s and a bunch of straights and a bunch of I guess 1/8 NPTs to 3ANs. This is going to allow us to have our pressure sensors straight connected to the fluid, so when we push on the pedal, it's going to give us instant feedback. So let's go ahead and drill out this hole all the way so I know which drill bit to pick, and shove this 3AN bulkhead through the wall. Cool, one bulkhead successfully done. Now let's put in the other 2 and then plumb the rest. All right, so next thing on the agenda, I already loosened up the bolts, so now we can take out these pedals. Now we can get to the back of the master cylinders and build these lines out. Right, so we got the pedal box back on the bench here. And these are going to be our fittings. We're going to use the plumb the back side of this thing. So on the back of two master cylinders, there's going to be two pressure sensors. So one on the clutch and one on the brake. So we have these fittings to go with it. These would be able to screw in 1/8 inch NPT sensors, and that would give us our brake light and clutch signal. You might use the clutch signal for anti-lag or whatever, however you want to do it, but one is always good for your clutch signal. So with that being said, with the other one, we're just going to run a straight. You see, we already put Teflon tape on it. Don't really know if I need it, but whenever it's an NPT, I always like to put a little Teflon tape on there. So let's go ahead and Teflon tape these and put them on. All right, so now we have all of our fittings screwed on and our pressure sensor here. We're missing one because the other one's already on the car already, so just gotta go off and take that off. So I guess tomorrow we're going to take apart that and get our lines free so we can then run them to the bulkheads. Oh wait, oh, what is that? This is amazing. Whose t-shirt is this? That's right guys, 944 Evo t-shirts are up on the website. One and only on systematic.co. Come in all different sizes and about 6 different colors. Black, red, blue, you name it. So every t-shirt purchase, funds go directly straight into this car. So enough playing around, let's get to the video. It's actually been a long while since I've seen it with the hood off. Almost a couple months actually. Look how much dirt we accumulated. Sheesh. Alright, so our brake bias valve is right down here. Looks like it's just 2 10s and this thing is off. This thing's gonna free up a lot of space in this area. Not to mention the master cylinder that was actually right here. You guys remember in the previous video when we removed it, you see how close it is to the wastegate. It makes no sense making a heat shield for something that's that close. So good thing we removed everything to the inside. So just gotta finish the job and remove everything else now. Shouldn't be too hard. Alright, we have our pedal box back in place. Mike over there helped me tighten up the bulkheads. You see the heel over there? Yeah, 1320 boy. So now it's time to build out our lines from our master cylinders straight to our bulkheads. Then we can do it vice versa outside. All right, we have a bunch of lines here from over the past, so just collecting lines. Hopefully one of these lines, or all three of these lines, should work. If not, we're gonna have to make some custom lines here. So this super long one looks like it would fit perfectly back here all the way to here. So if anything, I might need something shorter, so that's not too bad. This is the clutch line, so this one has to go in the middle. That's not too bad. This one's honestly not bad. I think it can, actually we can go really shorter. These lines might be really long. Cool, because I have a bunch of short ones, so. All right, guys, so we successfully plumbed 2. So we have to order 2 more. So it's not too bad. At least I saved a little bit of money here with just the lines that I had here. But you can see this is more or less how it's gonna look. I like the whole like swooping aspect of it. It's very, very nice. Let's show you what it looks like under the car. Under the car, it looks just as professional as well. Really, really, really liking this. So you can see we have this clutch line in the middle here. This is like, you know, nice, I guess, representation of which is going to be front, which is going to be rear. So this is the rear brake line. You can follow that. It goes all the way back there. And the front brake line, I need to order that. That's one of the 2 lines I need to order. It's going to go straight from this line lock right here and straight into here. So that's perfect. That is perfect. So yeah, just waiting on 2 lines. So since we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and start the throttle pedal. Okay, so for the throttle cable line, you can see this was the stock gas pedal here. And you can look up there, that's where our cable is. So we're gonna have to disconnect that mechanism and find a way to extend that cable to here. Shouldn't be too hard. I purchased this somewhat repair kit I found online, and we're basically going to, I guess, solder the 2 cables together using one of these. Or we're gonna screw it together then solder it just to make sure it's permanent, and then extend it with this cable here. Shouldn't be too hard. successfully attached our throttle cable. So maybe later on down the line, I don't know if this is touching. It doesn't feel like it's touching, but I would like to put a guide on this cable, or I'll probably just get a whole new cable. Honestly, they're not really that much expensive. So in the future, definitely I'll just upgrade the entire thing. But we are getting the full throw, so that's not bad at all. It's stopping before it hits the, back of the master cylinder. So it's just not too bad. Alright guys, a couple days later, and we have our nice 3AN braided lines. These are very, very nice. So let's go ahead, finish this job up. Cool. All 3 lines down here, check. Top half, check. I also wired up my pressure sensors, so that is nice. Just gotta do a bit of wire management. But that is basically it, guys. Look at that. That beautiful bulkhead with these nice mounted pedals. Perfect. Alright, all you gotta do is bleed it. It's like a special process. You gotta put the holes inside of the master cylinder and pump it until it gets to a full round circle, and then after that I can connect it back to the rest of the car. Then you bleed your regular brakes regularly, just like that. So that's pretty cool. I actually have this pretty cool tool to bleed this stuff. Let me show you guys. This thing right here is the truth. This thing is the best one-person bleeder ever. It's like a little check valve in there, so all you gotta do is just pop off this black hose, well, pop it off the bent side if I can get it off on one hand, but pop off this side, then connect it to your bleed line, pump the brakes as normal, and this thing is completely bled. So leave that in there. That's about it, guys. We're gonna head on over to 160mag.co, get all your system mag needs situated. Forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Never forget, never stop modifying.